Andrew has requested me on Patreon to review the action movie Gone in 60 Seconds, specifically the 2000 remake starring Nicolas Cage. Yes, this is a remake of an extremely low-budget film from 1974 that was the brainchild of Henry Blight Halicki. I've seen the original film as well, which is fairly light on plot, but that was sort of the point, as there was no real script, with most of the cast ad-libbing their dialogue. It was mainly an excuse to film a bunch of car chases and crashes, and boy does the movie have a lot of them. Sadly, Halicki died in 1989 from an accident while he was working on the sequel, which was never completed. His wife would end up getting the Gone in 60 Seconds rights, and she struck a deal with Disney to produce a new movie, which became this remake. Watching the film, the main thought probably running through a lot of people's minds is whether Michael Bay secretly directed it, because even though he had no involvement with this movie, it has a lot of the sorts of characters, style of humor, and fast-cutting editing commonly associated with his work. I would not be the least bit surprised if Jerry Bruckheimer offered him the movie first, but he either was not interested or was unavailable. Instead, the film was directed by Dominic Sena, who had a similar background to Bay, as he started off making commercials and music videos before jumping into feature films. Although Sena did not direct many movies, and currently his last directing credit is on another Nicolas Cage movie, Season of the Witch. Honestly, the resemblance of Gone in 60 Seconds to another director's filmography is the most interesting thing about it, as this is a routine and brainless action movie that just pummels you for 2 hours. The movie throws in a ragtag group of characters who attempt to steal 50 cars to appease a gangster, and none of them stood out to me. They are largely one-dimensional characters who don't even have interesting archetypes. Even the main character, played by Cage, is not really all that compelling, with Cage mostly directed to do his usual thing. By the way, his character's name is Memphis Raines. Let me repeat that. Nicolas Cage plays someone named Memphis Raines. Is this the wildest name given to a character he has played? Probably. His brother Kip is played by Giovanni Ribisi, and I thought he was kind of annoying and frustrating to watch throughout the movie. Even though Angelina Jolie was second billed and given the second most importance in the advertising, she's not actually in the movie that much. She is mostly just there to serve as a love interest and have at least one woman as part of the heist crew. The heist itself never becomes too thrilling and exciting because, again, I've not grown to care about these characters. I've said this before, but while the action and spectacle are obviously important in films like these, it's difficult for me to get invested in any of that without compelling people at the center of it. It also does not help that the action is directed in that hyperkinetic way, with shots only lasting a few seconds, extreme close-ups, and a lot of shaky cam. You're remaking a film where the main appeal was seeing the crazy car chases, so let me actually see the work put in by the stunt team without trying to give me a headache. Even with those problems, there are glimmers of a potentially fun and wild movie here. There's a scene where Memphis gets the crew prepared just before the heist by playing the song Lowrider, and Cage does a move with his fingers that's difficult not to smile at. Even though the film struggled to get me to care about these people, even I was like, that's right, Nicolas Cage, go steal those cars. And then there's a moment when the deadline is nearing and Memphis drives the final car up a ramp to get to the other side of a traffic accident. It's a stupid, implausible scene like everything else in the movie, but there's something admirable about the stunt and its simplicity. So there are little moments like those that work for me, even if the overall film falls short. Gone in 60 Seconds just has all the elements common in action movies of the era, including a lot of eye-rolling dialogue and largely cardboard characters like the detective constantly on Memphis' trail and the tough mobster who forces him to pull this heist. The movie even ends with a fight in a building full of pipes and steam blowing everywhere, and places where the lead protagonist could fall down, but doesn't. Gone in 60 Seconds is just not a film I found all that entertaining, as much as the movie tried to. I never bought into the connection between the heist crew, and the action itself did not impress me much either. It's just a lot of noise, and the editing constantly trying to make this as high energy as possible. I can enjoy the occasional brainless action movie, but this one offered me little. Anyway, if you've seen Gone in 60 Seconds, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for the request, Andrew.